Is the flat part right here. The superciliary arch is the eyebrow. The glabella is the dent in between the eyes or third eye. The supraorbital margin is the top portion right here, just the top. Not inside, not on top, just this little top section. The metatopic frontal sutrum actually runs from the nose up all the way to the back. The orbital plate is up here, still on the frontal plate, just the flat area there. The ethmoidal notch is on the inside of both of on the nose, the inside flat part.
Okay.
The sagittal sulcus is the groove. Is it this part?
We're on the frontal bone.
Oh, right here.
Right there.
Right here, the sagittal sulcus.
Okay.
On the parietal bone, the grooves for the meningeal arteries. They kind of just look like veins. On the superior and inferior temporal lines, those are imaginary lines on the exterior.
Probably better on the whole.
No, if it gets smaller, it's mostly they've been using up the yolk. Guys, there isn't a perfect, well, there may be a perfect answer to this.
Okay, so you have your superior area right here, and then your inferior. And the parietal eminence is the golf ball bulges on the back of the skull. They are more noticeable on the baby, but on the adult they start to grow in.
Go look this up after I tell you.
And then occipital?
On the occipital, the back, you have your occipital condyles. So those are right here.
On either side of the spinal cord?
Yes. And then your external occipital protuberance is the bump back here. It's not shown very well on this one. Right here.
The little notch there, yeah.
And
superior
and medial and inferior notches. So this is your notch. So the superior goes through the notch, and then your medial and inferior.
Yeah.
The basilar portion or process.
It's in the middle there, right here.
Oh.
And remember, it's on both sides.
So it's right here, this area here, or you could be tested this way, and it'd be this area right here.
Basilar portion of process, yeah.
And the impression for the transverse sinus. Transverse means left to right.
It's on the inside right there. You can't hardly see them, but...
So it's these grooves right here on the left and right side, and then they actually lead down into this part, which is the sigmoid sinus on both sides.
So let's just say reproduction.
And then the sagittal sulcus on the occipital,
which is then this. Because it's on a different bone now.
This one?
Yeah.
Right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then on the temporal bone.
Right. You can use this. It might be more realistic.
Okay.
For the test.
We think the test is going to be with this piece.
Yep.
How's it like that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the ear hole right there. So you have the
Did you say ear hole?
External auditory something. Okay, so the squamous portion is the flat portion on the temporal bone. The zygomatic portion is right here. And the mandible fossa, that is the dent right here.
Yes.
And the mandible tubercle is the portion right here.
Yes.
And the squama
Is just this flat.
this area right here.
Yeah, the flat part of the temporal bone.
Okay. And the impression for the sigmoid sinus.
Remember how it is in the skull, so it's on the other side. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's going to be that portion. It's easier to see on the whole skull, but he said he would be able to test us on that.
Okay.
Now we're on the rock, Paris portion.
This part?
Yeah. So the Paris portion or the rock, remember, is this like structure right here.
So this big structure on both sides is the rock.
Mhm.
And the internal auditory meatus is right here on the outside and right here.
It's really hard to see on this one. I think that might be it. Yeah, it looks different.
These two
on the
holes
other.
right here.
Yep, good job.
And then
Styloid process.
that's the sharp thing. It's not shown well on this one.
Your styloid process, that it's kind of hard to see. So, yeah, there you go. Right, the sharp things coming down from the bottom of the skull.
And mastoid portion. The mastoid portions are these large masses on both sides.
Mhm.
And the mastoid notch.
Mhm.
And the mastoid air cells. You can kind of see how there's
Also,
holes.
if you break it open, there's going to be air cells inside. Now we're in the tympanic
portion of the external ear hole.
So the external auditory meatus. And you're on the next page.
Okay. On the sphenoid bone, you have your
Other side.
You have your lesser wing here. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, lesser wing. Then your greater wing is the larger part right here.
Body.
And then you have your body, which is right here. Is that what we
Yes.
decided? And the
Pterygoid processes.
are the two sharp ends on the bottom. So they're not shown very well here. We could show a picture right here. So they're talking about these two things right here, and the medial one will be closer to the center, and the lateral one is on the outside.
There's always the risk that she won't recover.
And
So, you know, I just told Carla, keep an eye on her.
okay, the sella tertia. That's a three-part section. So you have the top, which is the tuberculum, is where the edge is.
Maybe you could do it down here like that. There you go.
The top is where the ridge is right there, and then the dent part, that is the hypophyseal fossa, and then you have your dorsal, which is at the bottom.
Dorsum sellae. Yes.
Dorsum sellae.
And then we're on.
Ethmoid sieve. Oh. So the ethmoid sieve, you have your
Superior nasal.
You
You can just jump down to here.
the cristogalli would be right there, right? And then your superior nasal conchae and your middle nasal conchae. And then The labyrinth is the bony framework on the inner part of the ear. Like,
there's the
oh,
labyrinth.
right here.
Yep. Then you have we need the Crista Galli, which is that at the top, if you want to point
yeah.
to it.
The crystal galley is right here.
And you can show the horizontal cribiform plate, which is still, remember with the dots, the holes around it?
Right there and right there?
Yeah. It's just the plate around
the plate leading to the holes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Around the Crista Galli. Then a perpendicular plate, in the nose. It's the top of the vomer.
Right here?
Yep, that's your perpendicular plate. And then at the bottom is your vomer.
That's the vomer right there.
And then this top notch on the side, if you want to point to that, that's your
superior nasal conchae.
Middle nasal conchae.
Which one's the middle?
The one at the top, which is confusing, and so the one at the top is your middle nasal conchae right there, and that's your inferior nasal conchae of the inside the nose.
So you can't see that.